Hello, my name is Rob. I'm the CEO and owner of Civitas Property Management. Today I wanted to talk about some of the ways to deal with the hindrances and difficulties of being an out-of-state landlord. If you're like most of our clients, you may be an unintentional landlord. Now, what that means is you did not specifically invest your money in a house with the purpose of renting it out. A lot of times that takes one of two forms. Either you're managing the property for one of your parents who is not able to take care of it. Maybe you're using the money to offset their care costs, which is very common. We have a lot of clients doing that right now. Or maybe you bought your house, you got a job transfer, the market is still hot, you're not ready to sell, and so you moved out of state and you want to rent out your property. Absolutely nothing wrong with it, but there are some considerations that you need to factor in that may make it difficult. One of the most obvious is that when it comes time to rent your property, you're either going to need to impose upon a friend or you're going to need to try to commute back to do showings once a week. And as somebody who has done both, I can tell you that they're very difficult and don't always work out according to plan. Oftentimes it leads to jumping at a prospect that you really should have waited on, and it can lead you to not be as cautious as you should be. Now, not always. One of my best tenants who I eventually sold their home to was somebody who I was driving down to Southern California once a week for the showings and worked out great. But in hindsight, I really should have been more cautious and done more research. But because it was such a pain to go down there every week and it was 6 hours each way, I jumped at the first tenant. And it worked out well for me, but it won't always do that. One of the other issues is being out of the area, it's very difficult to keep up to date on local ordinances. Here in the Bay Area, city after city is passing new rent control ordinances, or they're strengthening and giving teeth to the ones that they already have. Union City, San Jose, Mountain View, Richmond, Santa Cruz, city after city, just in the last 12 months, have very quickly and with very little fanfare implemented new rent controls. And as a property manager, my full-time job is to keep up to date on that. I go to these really boring monthly lunches to just get the legal update. It makes me really depressed, but that's my job. Unfortunately, most of our clients, it's not a full-time job, and you have your life, you have your job, and so it's very difficult for you to keep up to date, especially as things are progressing so quickly. So it can be very difficult to deal with that unless you're subscribed to either a local organization, for example, a local property owners organization, or perhaps a regular newsletter or something like that. So make sure that you do put some time into researching that to make sure you know what's going on. The other issue can be simply monitoring the status of your property. If you're in Arizona, you can't do a drive-by every couple of weeks to make sure that there aren't 6 cars in the driveway and 2 on the lawn and 1 on the roof. And as property managers, I can tell you, we have seen some very crazy stuff. We've done walkthroughs where there were beds in the living room and, it was just a guest staying over. And I promise you, if there's something crazy, we've seen it or we've had a friend see it. So it's very important to have a local presence here. Which is not to say you shouldn't do it. A lot of you have really great reasons. There are definitely benefits at times to holding your real estate, but just make sure that you're prepared to manage a property effectively. If you have any questions, if you need any help, we're always here. Feel free to call us, Civitas Property Management.